So, how you tell where it's raining in the desert is, you see how it almost looks like just a wall of black that goes up. It's almost like a line of black. It almost looks like smoke coming up from the ground. But actually that's the rain coming down. And that's how you can tell. So over there, 30 miles away, it's probably dumping rain, like to the point you could just take a canoe down a wash. But where I'm at, I'm covered in sweat. And that's how desert works. I mean, and if you flip around this way, up here, blue skies, right? All the way over here, blue skies, nothing. And that's just kind of how it works, you know what I mean? You know, you can have those pockets even as close as 5 miles away. Because I've had it where it was just over my property, was lightning striking, and it was absolute just a storm. Right down the way, nothing. This desert is pretty funny how it works with weather. It just goes in like these little isolated pockets a lot of times. And that's just how it works. Today, I'm getting down and dirty. I'm gonna go ahead and start a rough idea of a plan of a chicken coop. I am far from a carpenter, and I know a little about a little. And I'm gonna take that and run with it. So I'm gonna go get some 2x4s, 4x4s. I'm gonna start a chicken coop / rabbit hutch. And we're gonna keep on going till something happens. I got some free pallets over here, but the wood is pretty rickety. The idea with this is I'm gonna take all the wood off the bottom and use, or just use it itself and try and make a little bit of an armor plating. Chicken coop. These are my hangers. They hang the 2x4s on the top. These are the pressure treated 4x4s. I'm sorry. That we're going to use. That way, the heat and the amount of water that doesn't really just twist and warp everything up on me. So we're going to cut these down to about 6 feet. So I want about 6 by 6 by 6 foot structure. We're going to do it pretty high. But we're probably a little taller than I am, probably about 7 feet high, but we're gonna do it about 6 by 6 by 6. Should be plenty enough space for a couple of chickens and my rabbits. So I'm gonna cut these each one down to 6 feet and have those hung up top. I'm trying to measure out where I'll put the posts in, but I don't like it. I'm gonna have to pull it back. So that way I'm able to get behind here and work on this side. That, then got this. That's my rough outline, so that way the rest I can do with a level. You know what I mean? So the goal is you have the hanger across the top, going either direction with the 2x4s and the 4x4 on top, right? So that way we're not getting none of this. Then at the bottom, it's in the concrete, sunk down in that thing. So it's not wiggling over there. So that way you have a strong, you know, all for the top, all for this bottom structure. These work really well. These I like a lot. These hangers, I use a lot in when I was building a tiny house. They really work really well. So that's the plan, is dig this hole out big enough. That way you can adjust it and hold it with the rocks. Hang the hanger down, 2x4 down, there's a single screw in it, move it a little bit to where you want it, get a good adjustment, screw it all in so it's good, fill it full of concrete, water it, you're done. And then from there, we can start from that skeleton and move our way out. Now it's time for the fun stuff. It's a little wet. So the ground is not like super hard, but there is, you know, kind of rocky. So let's see how this does with the pit. Start with right there. It's not bad. We're sticking the holes for the 4x4s. So this should be the exact location. I hit 6 feet 4 inches, so it should be 6 feet 2 inches, 6 feet 2 inches. So you dig a nice little hole right around the middle of it. Should be pretty close, pretty spot on for the 4x4 in the middle here. That's as far in as will go. That's alright. No biggie. Let's set that up right here. So it's going to be right here. So we're going to go. That's going to go this way. There. One going through. See how it turns out? One that way. One this way, one that way, one this way. Throw some rocks in here just to keep this upright. Here, toss it in. Perfect. Yeah. Just a few. That way it stays upright until we get everything adjusted. All right, let's get another one. Inches, and it's 6 feet exactly wide, so something got lost in translation here, but it'll work out. So it's going to be a little longer than it is wide, but still will work out. Hold it.
Just that.
Thank you.
There's a rock right there.
You're giving me my rock. Okay. Go ahead. Hold it tight. See what we're working with. This way. Perfect. Okay. In there. Now this up.
What?
So we're 6 feet, 88 inches. So I don't know how that worked out, but it did. So that's what we're rolling with. Here we got a box, which is good. The concrete needs to go across the bottom here to kind of fill all this in. That way we're not getting a lot of movement like that. You know, top pretty sturdy. These, you know, they're doing good. 200 plus, so the hangers work really well. I like them a lot. Put the hose in the hole, buddy. Ready? Watch.
Mine.
I think I need to put more water pressure on it.
Wow, look. Daddy, go over there. Wow. Look. Look.
We're gonna go ahead and put the concrete in for the feet. Oh. Perfect. Okay. On to the next. Which one's next? Pick one. Which one? Okay, let's go. Hose in the hole. Ready? What I'm doing is I'm putting a square around the bottom. That way this will hold the concrete. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in one side some bricks to kind of build it up, and then I'm going to pour concrete in the whole thing and just kind of make it go down to one side. That way if I ever spray it out with a hose, I can spray it straight out to the run and really clean it, because you know, after a while these things get pretty down and dirty, and you really want to clean it out. And also the thick concrete layer is, when somebody tries digging underneath, which is what they do, like the Coyotes, they jump, but their favorite thing to do is dig, and they're gonna dig underneath or try to. Now I can put wire on the outside or bricks on the outside or whatever I need to do to make sure to deter them. But just in case they do, they go underneath and they hit that concrete. They can't get underneath. They can't dig through that, because they're pretty small animals. They're probably about that by that. They ain't big creatures, so they don't really have a strength. They ain't like a bear or something. So once it hits that concrete, we're good to go. So that's what I'm doing now. All right, buddy, I'm almost there. We don't want any of the concrete coming out from underneath, so we're gonna rake this whole thing out and get it nice and flat so we can put our concrete down. I put framing on the sides here, okay, to distribute the weight. It's about 2 feet, about 20 inches on the other side. Then I put a middle 2x4, but how I did is I made almost like a bracket. So it's a rock, the nails are across here and they're across here now. So what that's able to do, excuse me, is get to the point where, as far as up and down goes, it's really strong. Now as far as kind of wiggling side to side, we're not there yet. So once the board's up here, I think it's going to be a lot more. Once we have the sidings on, it's a lot more kind of like your IKEA furniture, where that thin plate in the back makes it sturdy. So that's where we're going to go next. Basically, as you can see how this is coming together, you fill it in with the rocks pretty up to how high you want it. Concrete goes in, finds its way in between those rocks, kind of wet the whole thing down. Now we have our good slab, and that is the project for today. I decided against the bricks because I thought the rocks are going to be stronger. They're not going to like break. And I noticed when I use like big cement bricks, what tends to happen is it tends to get lines where it cracks, and the whole thing kind of shifts. So this, I think it'll settle down a lot nicer and won't crack. Plus, it's free. Plus, a rock is a lot harder piece of material than those cement bricks I put down. It's like the mid to high 90s, which out here is a big jump down. I mean, there is a incredible difference between 90 degrees and in the hundreds. Then once you get to like 110, these are a whole different world. So 90 degrees, 95, perfect day. I can work all day in that. Once you get to 105, your body just covers in sweat. You really only go 30 minutes, half hour at a time before you're just wiped out. Just get heat exhaustion. you want to build a platform so if there's a lot of water, it's running off of your structure. You know, it's not sitting in it's not sitting in water or where it starts to sheet flow across the ground. Good 4 inches is what you need just to get up. That way, you know, it's not a pool of water, you know, because if pooling of water is not good, you know, you don't want an animal cooling in water, and you don't want the whole thing just getting all nasty. Concrete floor is going to be level, and then we're going to have 2 of these. Now I'm going to put the 2x4s go the other direction, go across the whole thing, and kind of horseshoe them in so that way they're stable across, and then this is going to go on that, and then across the front of this is going to be my my wire mesh. Okay, now we're going to put the same corrugated roofing on the roof. We're going to put the sides all the way, so probably almost the end probably, and I may just leave the entire front open. That way it's able just to blow through. Probably leave a big opening at the top. That way we're able to blow through with a fan or a swamp cooler to keep this whole thing cool. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to have this as like the armor on the outside, and over top of that. But I'm going to have, when I have myself some stain, I'm going to put that on top of this to kind of keep it so it's not going to just literally fall apart. Right now it's somewhat stable, a little bit going on sitting out in the sun, but I'm going to have to at least put a stain on this to keep it solid. Richie's going to fill this entire bottom in with all these rocks, so that way I'm not using so much cement, and it's kind of saved me a few bucks on that, and also it's a pretty hardy stuff. So that's where we're at so far. So we filled the whole bottom in with rocks. That way, to, you know, a little less concrete I had to use. We're gonna put down the water and this 80-pound bags of concrete. I'm gonna smooth it out with a 2x4, and we're gonna see how much we got. Hopefully it's enough to fill all this. If not, I'll have to go for a second round. Bags is about a third, so I think I'm gonna need about 80-pound bags to get this done. And what that's gonna do is nothing's gonna be able to dig underneath and get in here. Dry pouring it, but we're getting it wet as we dry pour it, and then we're smoothing it out with the 2x4 to get a nice, somewhat flat surface in here, and we're going all the way down. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna fill in this little section here. Keep going the other half of the 4x4. The concrete will hold in that 4x4. Put a little more strength here for these ones, and we're going to go all the way back. I got 10 more bags. This was 6, so that should be more than enough. Let's start that now. Somewhat good. Okay. Doing here is I'm pulling all of the pallets off the back, okay? And this is basically like the already pre-made fencing you buy from Home Depot. It's like little slats like this. You just put it right up against the fence. So you lift it up like this. You put the 2x4s going this way. I put one right here on the bottom, one across the top. Drill this into the 2x4, and then you have a grab and go fence. Let me show you what I'm doing over on the other side. So let me show you all what we did here. So you can see the pallets on the one side here. Well, that's tensile strength. Basically what this is going to do for me is when I put the wire mesh on the outside, if it tries to push, it's not going to bow. And the wire mesh is going to be able, so it can't really bite through and get through. You're basically going to get everything coming at this on the lower angle. And then what the thing will do is probably hop on my roof and try digging around up there. Because Coyote can jump this high easily. So he's going to be digging up high. He's going to be digging down low. Come around to the other side here. I'll show you what I did. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 pallets, okay? And I put this a little bit in the middle here, but this one right here in the middle to kind of shore it up down here. And basically what it is you can see there's a fresh piece, the 2x4s either side screwed in, then this is the front. And that's basically what I'm going to do all the way around, is use this as almost like the fencing on the outside. And these big fresh 2x4s is giving it that strength. I had a 4x4, so whatever. I threw that thing in there, screwed it in tight. Basically, the key is all this is recycled wood, except for the posts and the concrete. Everything so far is all just stuff I had laying around, and that's what I'm doing so far. And this is one side. This is one side of the fencing. So this will be strong enough for like a little pot-bellied pig, a chicken, something like that. Nothing's going to push through. And then on the other side, let's just say these coyotes, they want to start digging. That's 4 inches of concrete and rock underneath you. I mean, they could dig a channel from one side to the other, and they ain't getting underneath. And of course, the pigs, you know, they ain't gonna root through and go underneath. So this is a solid little platform right here. Also, you get a lot of water. Like we do, the water will not just pool in this area, or if it starts getting a sheet flow, basically everything turns into a wash. Because it gets a lot of rain, this is high enough that it's not going to affect it. You know what I mean? Animals are like people; they do get exposure to the elements. So what you want to do is keep them dry and keep them cool. So with a roof on it, some shade, a fan or a swamp cooler blowing through this, they'll be just right, tight, and comfortable. So far, so good. This is pressure treated, so like we did in the beginning. So that's really solid wood. This is a solid wood. These are all solid wood. So the frame is solid. So I could walk across this, stand on this. You're good. The siding, we're starting to get a little bit of recycled stuff, but it's still solid wood. And then we have that wire mesh going on the outside, a nice little armored shell. So far, so good. That's what I'm going to do. Basically, we're going to have 2 doors, one going in, close, one going out, and it'll be a run for the animals. So basically what I'll do, you come through in the morning, you get your eggs, you tend to your animals, the pigs are underneath, you open the next door, everything goes out to the run. You know, when nighttime comes, so you're going to leave, screw everything inside, lock it up tight. So far, like my dogs, everything is good in the daytime, but once it turns night out here, it's a whole nother world. I mean, all the boogies come out. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff everywhere. Just sticks and little animals as far as the eye can see. But in the daytime, everything is hiding in a hole. So I'm going to use that naturally to my advantage and basically have everything pretty tight. You know, there's 1, 2 fences they have to get through, obviously. So this one and the cow fence on the other side. So I'm kind of giving me a lot of leeway in time if something is trying to come up here, which the coyotes will run these fences. They don't really jump them unless it's at nighttime most of the time. And then you'll have the fencing in here, giving me a lot of room and a lot of time. So far, I've noticed with the dogs, as long as they're close to the living situation, you're good. But if you get them away from you, they're toast. So if let's say the dog is like, you know, it's like 30, 40, 50 feet away, and it's outside of your living situation, out there where you kind of can't stay in the brush, that's when the coyote wants to take advantage of that. But if everything is kind of really close to living situation, I don't really see that much pressure unless it's at nighttime.